Let's return to our top news story breaking in the last few minutes. South Africa's Constitutional Court are ruling on whether President Jacob Zuma should pay back public money used to upgrade his private residence. Well, in the last few minutes, they've just said that President Zuma failed to uphold the country's constitution. Let's go to Melanie Rice, who's been following developments for us from Cape Town. Melanie, we've yet to get the final ruling, but this doesn't bode well for the president, does it?
No, it is truly, as you know, a unanimous decision by 11 judges, and as the Chief Justice said, a momentous occasion, finding that Jacob Zuma failed to uphold and defend the Constitution. That is grounds for impeachment in Parliament, and also finding that the National Assembly itself flouted its obligations by not holding him accountable and forcing him to pay back the money.
He does have a lot of support in the government. Do you think it will come to that impeachment, that is?
Well, impeachment proceedings are expected, the opposition parties are expected to start impeachment proceedings after the way the judgment is looking in the next few days. That would require a two-thirds majority in Parliament, and the ANC does hold the majority of seats. So essentially, the decision is going to come from ANC leadership. They're going to decide whether or not they will act against Jacob Zuma, and it's going to be very difficult for them to do nothing after the highest court in South Africa has now found that he failed to uphold and defend the Constitution, and he failed in his duties in terms of his oath of office.
Okay, Melanie, just to let you know, we have got that verdict now. President Jacob Zuma must repay the money spent on his private residence. That's the ruling from the South African court. He has 45 days to repay that money. That is not good news for the president.
No, many saying that this spells the beginning of the end for Jacob Zuma. What the Constitutional Court also did is they clearly stated the powers of the Public Protector's Office. Now, the Public Protector is South Africa's anti-corruption watchdog, and the Chief Justice laid out very clearly that her findings are binding and that her findings must be complied with. So really restoring a lot of confidence in South Africa's constitutional democracy and confidence, I expect, internationally in the country.
And Melanie, give us a bit of context on this for people who don't follow events in South Africa so closely. He's been mired in scandals, hasn't he, President Jacob Zuma, in recent months?
He has, and one of the things that the Public Protector is currently investigating is his relationship with the controversial Gupta family over alleged state capture. This arguing over whether or not he was going to pay back the money for his upgrades has been going on for 2 years. Thuli Madonsela found in a report which she called Securing Comfort 2 years ago that he was liable to pay back taxpayers' money for what amounted to around $15 million in upgrades. So he's really going to struggle to bounce back from this one.
Okay, Melanie, many thanks for that. Melanie joining us there from Cape Town. And just to recap that breaking news, President Jacob Zuma must repay money that he spent on his private residence. That's the verdict of a South African court just in the last few minutes. That could amount to millions of rand that he is due to pay back in 45 days. Could have some political ramifications on President Jacob Zuma.